All right, hey everybody, that retired dude here. Uh, After yesterday's revelation, where we started to learn about how the shell game works with, um, let's check it out real quick. What one of the shell companies is, the LMRA services, and how they potentially avoid being served legal documents with some tomfoolery, which I'll explain that here in a minute in case you missed it. What I did is, I was thinking, maybe we can take all of the court cases against everybody in the family, and then we could take all of the companies from everybody in the family, and we can see if there's a pattern, right? Because there are so many court cases in Utah. Reminder, this is just the entities that have either a principal or a registered agent of somebody that has the last name of McNeff. And then this is all of the court cases that are in Utah. We know they're in other states. So we know there's going to be more information. So this is just a little snapshot in time. But my theory, and hopefully this is something, a tool for all of you investigators out there to use. I want you to use this tool to hopefully help you save some money, right? Because if we know they're starting new companies, let's see what's happening right before, right? So, okay, traffic, maybe that's not why they started a company. District criminal, okay, maybe we want to take a look at these court cases right here. Somebody pull up the Utah website and see if there's something that might make somebody want to hide something. All right, administrative court case, right? There's a lot of court cases, and it costs a lot of money to collect all of that information. Right, so the goal here is to hopefully find the nuggets, right? I think there's going to be something important going on with these sportsmen's clubs, because there's nothing there. There's nothing in those buildings, and somebody else owned it right before they did. So there's like a bunch of name changes. It changed hands from this Putnam guy. So I think somebody's going to find something if they start looking into the sportsmen's clubs. All right. Like I had promised earlier, I'm going to go ahead and explain the LMRA services. So a lot of these companies have the registered agent of LMRA Services, Inc. Now, there's three. So let's say you go and you want to sue these people. And so you go up, you look up their company, you find the LMRA Services is the registered agent, and that's who you want to have your process server go to and serve them the papers. Well, guess what happens when you go and you pull up NMRA services? Let's go check it out real quick. Let's look. Let's look at the documents. All right, I want to make sure you know for a fact that I'm not talking out of my asshole. Man, where the heck is it? Yeah, let's do this one. All right, so you go and you look up LMRA Services, Inc. There are three. All right, one of them is administratively dissolved, so we're probably not going to want to go to that one. But we have two, so now we have to pick, okay? And you'll see here, one of them is a commercial registered agent, a CRA, and one of them is actually a foreign business corporation. Keep this in mind. So let's say we want to sue McNeff's gay leather strap-on company, right? He lists LMRA Services, Inc., and he gives an address. Well, that doesn't do us any good, right? And let me explain to you why. In the state of Utah, they have laws that say that CRAs must not have confusing names. However, the loophole that these fucking people are using, these criminals, this criminal enterprise, this criminal family, McNeff Criminal fucking Family LLC, right, is that one of them's a foreign corporation, so the law does not count. right? And then, so you show up to the address and they both have the same address, right? So this one is 1337, right? And that's a commercial registered agent. And this one, the one that's a fucking bagel stand in Alaska, is also 1337. So a regular person would think that, hey, I can show up and I can go to the front desk and I can say, hey, you're served. They're LMRA Services Inc., located at 1337 East. And they can say, which entity are you trying to serve? Guess what? That's the trap, because they do not have to accept service for somebody that is not them, right? And so they say, oh, we're not going to accept that. That's not the right entity, right? And then you have to go back and you have to amend all of your stuff. And while you're doing that, that's when they're probably dissolving a company or moving shit around, or they just close the CRA and open up another one, right? Which is kind of like probably what they did here, right? They probably started getting served right around here. We got a bunch of court cases, traffic. Oh, here we got some domestic. And right around here, there might be some court cases where they're like, fuck, they served the correct CRA. Fuck. So they shut it down and then they open up another one. Right? But it doesn't matter. They don't. You see what I'm saying? Because in the business identification, it just says LMRA services. All right? And then so if they get served, they don't have to prove that it is in fact the wrong or the right one. They just have to say that it is. And then you go and you amend the documents. So let's say here's what I'm thinking happened. Somebody showed up to here, served papers, or here, and they got served, right? That's the trap. And then they go and they shut down the other one, right? And then they opened up this one. I would say that a good time for that to be would be maybe here or here or here, right? Because while that person is going to get the document amended right around here somewhere, fuck, man, these fucking people. And then they go and they change the documents, and then they show back up to this address. They try to serve them the papers again, only to find out that the old company, right, no longer exists. And then you got to go back to the court, re-amend it again, and then here's the new foreign corporation, CRA, right? And so somebody right here probably had to serve them 3 times. That's just an assumption. That's a theory of mine of how they ended up with 3 LMRA Services Inc. Is playing this stupid fucking shell game to try and wear you down. And it works. And if we didn't have investigators like you out there crushing these fucking people, none of this would be possible. Keep up the good work. Feel free to use the tool and go smash some fucking skulls, bro.